All right, what's happening, everybody? So you guys remember this? This is my air dryer that I used to dry the sides. So when I put them in the form and clamped them in place, I let them sit for 3 days. When I took them out of the form, the inside of the side felt damp to me. So because it was clamped down onto the sheet metal that skins the form, the sides were only able to dry from the outside and no air was getting to the inside. I wasn't crazy about the way that they were drying. I was afraid it was going to change the shape of them. So I built this. It took me 20 minutes, honestly. It was no big deal at all. And it really made the sides very stable, that they were able to dry from the inside and outside at the same time. I don't know if that made a difference in the stability, but it just felt better to me. I don't know how else to explain it. It was maybe a peace of mind thing more than a necessity, but the guitar is super, super stable. I keep measuring it and I'm checking to see if the sides are changing shape at all, and they are just not moving. It's not even braced yet, which is why we're where we are now. All right, right now, I'm going to zoom the camera back so I can get in a little closer because I can't quite reach it. But when I zoom the camera back, it distorts the image a little bit. It makes things look out of proportion. Let's see. Yeah, see it now. It looks all warped and curved, and it's not. But anyway, this is the back of it. When I flip it over, that's my arch. Show you. So all I did was I cut 4 ribs, and I cut them all together and sanded them all together so they're all identical. I glued them onto the back of the dryer, and then I skinned it with 1/4-inch plywood. I clamped the plywood down. I then dammed it off with some blue tape and filled between the ribs with the epoxy resin. Now the reason I did that was because when I had the 4 ribs glued on there, I could press down and I could feel some movement in the air pocket right here. So I was able to compress it. So I filled it with epoxy resin so that it retains its shape. When I'm sanding, I know that I'm not bending it down in one corner and sanding away more than I have to, but it looks pretty good to me. It looks really even. I check it all along and I just measure at a couple different points along there, and I got the same numbers all the way everywhere. So I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's close enough. I mean, I can't see any difference with the rulers that I'm using, so that's going to have to be close enough. I'm sure it's not, machine grade perfect within, 1/1000th of an inch, but I'm sure that it's plenty close enough for the purposes that I need it to be. So here's the guitar, and I got the sides trimmed down really close to their finished dimension. The way that I did that was I laid them on the arch with the center of the guitar lined up with the center of the arch. Remember, it's an arch, not a radius. So having the guitar sit this way won't work. It's got to be exactly 90 degrees on, or 90 or 180, however you want to look at it, on this arch. It can't be sitting like this. It has to be exactly like this, so that the arch, the highest point of the arch follows the center line of the guitar. So that means when I sand it, I gotta sand it. I can't sand it like this or like this. I have to hold it straight. That's pretty easy. I'll just put a center line on my sandpaper. When I do that, when I flip it over, I've got this little shelf right here, and that is to account for the thickness of the front of the guitar. The soundboard is going to be that thickness right there, so that when I put my fretboard on there, the fretboard comes straight across and there's no bend in the fretboard. The way that I got this rough shaped was I just laid it on the arch, and then I just took a pencil and I just ran the pencil around like this, leaving a mark on the side of the guitar, and then I brought it down close to the mark with a chisel, just a regular sharp chisel, and then I brought it down closer and smoother with a small block plane to the line. Now I still got some highs in this. I don't think I have any lows. I'd rather have highs than lows, because if I have a part that I went too far, I would have to take the entire guitar down to that thickness, which means my guitar would be getting thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And knowing me, it would be this thick by the time I got it right. So I have to trust my rigs that I made, and I have to know that when I start taking stuff down, I tend to go a lot closer to the line than I probably should. But anyway, here's where I'm at. So I definitely got a high spot right over in here. You can still see the line on it, as a matter of fact. See the blue line? That blue line is the line that I was headed towards to get it to its final shape. Yeah, see the blue line? So I just got it close to the line, and I stayed, I left the line on there to give myself room for sanding it down to its final shape. So because it's not at its perfect shape right now, I got a little bit of a rock going on here. See that? So that means I got a high spot somewhere over in here, probably right there. But when you put the light inside there and you just put a little bit of weight on it, you could see right here, that's not changing at all. It's not going flat. And that's because I haven't taken it all the way down to its finished shape. But it's pretty close. Yeah, see a little bit of light coming through right there. A little bit right there. A little more over there. Sorry about the bad camera work there. There's more light there. A little bit coming through there. The rest of it looks like it's pretty tight. When I sand this, I just got to make sure that I don't turn this way or this way, but that's easy. The other side, I'll show you the other side. So the other side, when I sand this, because of that shelf right there, to account for the thickness of the soundboard, I'm going to have to sand it off the edge like that and just sand right up to it. But I made sure not to take anything off of this area over here. So, and I came down really close over here. So I'll have minimal sanding to do across here. Just when I go like that, it should just ever so slowly take it down and close that gap. Okay, that was one extremely long sentence. But here's the front of it, the other side of it. Same thing with the light gap. There's a little bit of light coming through there. And that's, you guys can see I stayed pretty clear of the end block, so that I'll put a pencil line all the way around this so that I know exactly how much I'm taking off of this block on the back here. So I kind of stopped like here and here, just so that I know that this is my highest point. And as I'm sanding, I'm watching that highest point drop down until I can get rid of all of the gapping. That should make it the perfect arch that I'm looking for. I haven't done anything to the fretboard, but here's the idea on the fretboard. Fretboard's going to go like that. It'll get cut off. You can see you can almost see that I've got the location marked out for where the sound hole is going to be. Can't really see it on the camera, but the last fret comes in right there. There you go. There's the last fret, and then you can barely see that sound hole line right there. Okay, bracing. When I cut the bracing for this, I gotta make sure that the bracing is on the sandpaper in the position that it's going to be in the guitar. If I sand this arch into the brace and then turn it this way, it's not going to match the arch for the top or the back of the guitar. So when I sand this brace, I gotta keep it turned this way. When I sand this brace, I gotta keep it turned this way. The bracing on the back is simple. It's just going to be 4 cross braces spaced out pretty evenly. I want one at the widest point of the guitar, on the lower bout and on the upper bout. I want one, to strengthen up where the grain is. Those braces will be integrated into the neck through. So I'll have one here, one here, one here, probably one here, 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be on the back. On the front, I'll have the one transverse brace here, and then from there, I'll have my X brace goes across like this, and you can see where it crosses the shelf. So same thing over here. So the X brace will be integrated into, or the shelf will be integrated into that cross brace, so that everything ties together right here. I really don't want this to move. Right now this has got some spring to it, and when I'm sanding this, I'm worried about that movement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole through this into this down here, and then I will press a dowel into that hole so it's in there like that. I'll cut the dowel off smooth up here. I will put a clamp on this to make sure that this stays at exactly the right height, so that when I sand that arch, I know that this isn't too far down and it isn't too far up, so that when I put the soundboard on the guitar, I know that I'm not pressing this down or lifting this up, and it's retaining exactly the correct shape. Now, after I get everything all glued together, I'll probably go back in and cut off the dowel and sand it smooth. It's just to hold it at the correct height while I'm doing the work on it. And then when it's done, I'll just cut it off with my coping saw and sand it out smooth. That's my plan, but I'm pretty happy with how the shape came out. See the blue line? See where I left it a little proud, and then some places I got it a lot closer than other places, which, you know, that's why it's gonna rock when it's on there. But I definitely wanted it to be a little bit proud so that I could take it down the rest of the way with the sandpaper glued down to the sanding jig. I don't know what to call it. It's not really a radius dish. But to sand it down to the arch surface, that's going to be the finished shape of the guitar. Whew, okay. A lot of blabbing on that one. Hopefully you guys follow that. See what the plan is. So far, so good. I'll be back probably after. I'm going to do the front of the guitar first, which means I'm going to work on the rosette. Lots to do still. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the front of the guitar first. Then I'll flip it over, and then I'll do the 4 braces on the back and glue the back on. I think that's the right order to go from where I'm at now. But there it is. Making progress. So I'll be back when I'll do another video for the bracing. And we'll see how that goes. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.